Hi, this is Eddie Case, creator of the Pro Video A to Z Basement Finishing Series and the owner of the Basement Remodeling Company. And today what I wanted to talk to you guys about was how a basement job progresses. All right, that's a question I get a lot. What order do I go in, Ed? You know, which stage should I be thinking about first and what follows the next and the next and so forth and so on. And I've been doing this since 1992. Guys, I've done a couple hundred basements, somewhere over 500 basements, and I've designed well over 2,000 basements. So I like to think of myself as a basement specialist, all right? Because I really don't concern my remodeling company with anything else. I mean, we actually do some kitchens and we do some bathrooms, but primarily we're doing basements 12 months out of the year. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to basement remodeling. I feel real comfortable in my own skin in that department. So what I wanted to do is run through the stages of a basement finishing job, and I'm going to be speaking about what I do when I go and talk to a client and they've accepted my offer, how I progress with their job, all right? Exactly what I do, okay? So if I'm doing it, you should probably be doing it too. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up with a design for the job based on what my client's wish list was. So we're gonna start out with a wish list, all right? And a wish list is simply, what do you want in your basement? I mean, what are your hopes? What are your aspirations for that space down there? I mean, I know a lot of people that consider this like a dream area of the house. They're gonna put everything down in this space that they've always wanted upstairs but didn't have the space for, all right? So it's a lot of home theaters, it's a lot of play space for children, it's an extra bedroom, it's another full bathroom, it's a nice bar, it's an entertainment area where you've got a big screen television or maybe a home theater, a game room, so forth and so on. And in those areas, there's going to be specialty items like built-ins, built-in bookcases, built-in entertainment walls. There's going to be granite on top of bars versus Formica. There's going to be tile floors in bathroom versus vinyl. There's going to be, you know, good, better, best in the materials that you can use in each of these areas. All right, so when you come up with your wish list, put the best of everything in every area. All right, and if you can't afford it all, you can always start backing things out. So I always tell folks, you know, give it everything you got, and then if you can't afford to give it everything that you wanted, we can always back a few things out. So come up with your wish list first. All right, that's the zones that you want down there, the theater, the bathroom, the office, the bar, whatever. Come up with the zones and then come up with the materials that you're going to furnish inside each of these zones in your wish list. All right, once you have your wish list, we're going to develop the floor plan. And I normally do this for my clients. That's why they call me in. They have a rough idea what they want. Like you probably have a rough idea what you want, but they're looking for someone to design the space for them, to give them better ideas than maybe they can come up with themselves. And since I've done a couple hundred jobs and have designed a couple thousand, I'm pulling on my years of experience in the design department to come up with the best configuration for them. So you want to come up with your design next, okay? And once you have it designed, you can put that design into the floor plan. Now, a floor plan you can do two ways. You can do it on software that you can buy at a, you know, a Staples, some type of office supply store, or one of the big box electronic stores. You can find, if they have a software department, they're generally going to have some type of 3D home design software. So you can buy that. I use an old program called 3D Home Architecture. It's outdated. It's a real simple, easy, you know, point the mouse, click, drag wall lines around, blah, blah, blah. Gives you the dimensions automatically. They have much better ones now, but this isn't going to be a video on how to design your basement. So get yourself some design software, follow the instructions, and get your basement into that software. That way you can print it out. If you're going to pull permits, it's great for permits because then you can just take your printouts to the township office and you can use those to get your plan approved. All right, so you can either use software or you can just draw it. Just draw it out. All right, when I say draw it out, take the configuration of your basement, whatever it is. Everybody's got a different shape. And put your steps in there, coming down, put your windows in. All right, it doesn't have to be beautiful. All right, if you got a door going outside, if this is a door right here, you know, put the location of the steps out back so they can see that at the code office that you got an egress, and mark that. egress door. You know, mark all your windows. And then what you want to do is go around with your tape measure, and I just use a standard 25-foot tape measure, and I'll start to put my dimensions around the outside walls. And I do it real quick. I just run my tape around, say this is 40 feet here, and this is 35 foot here. All right, I'm just putting little arrows in there, 12 foot here, and be 30, 28 feet here. All right, and this is say 7 foot here, and that's 35, that would be 30, that would be 28, and this would be 28 feet here. Is that right? I hate doing math when I'm live on camera. Okay, so get your plan drawn out. Now, if you're using software, you're just going to enter these wall lines into the computer program. You're just going to draw it out, and it's going to put your dimensions in for you, and it's going to be real simple to do. So get your outside walls done first, and then get a dimension. Get your stairs drawn in there, okay, and get some dimensions for your stairs off of one of the walls. Like maybe that's 14 feet to the steps that way, and then coming back off the back wall, maybe that's 10 foot coming that way. So that way at least the program knows where your steps are located. All right, and from there, this is where you start to design your basement, because this is what you got now, most likely an empty basement or a basement that's been finished and you're going to tear it out and redo it. This is where you start, with an empty basement with a set of steps. You might want to put your furnace in there, your water heater in there. Let's say your electric panel box, you want to put that all in there, and you want to mark this stuff. HVAC for the heating and cooling system. Your water heater, just use a WH, and just put an arrow and put your E panel, electric panel. All right, because they're going to want to know what that is at the township. And then just go ahead and design your basement. You know, let's say you come down the stairs and turn left, and you go in maybe to a bedroom here. Maybe this is a bedroom. Around the corner over here, maybe another door coming in here. This could be an office. Out here, you got hot water heater, and you've got a furnace over here. You might want to just put that in a big closet with a double door. Whatever your configuration is. You know, you could have a built-in wall over here, and some furniture out here, and a coffee table and a TV right over here, a home theater. You could have a pool table over here, a game area, maybe a bar behind the steps. Whatever your plan is, all right? This is not a video on designing. But you're going to want to get it designed first with all your dimensions. That way, you're ready to go. Once your plan's approved, you're ready to take your floor plan and start to turn it into a concrete form. All right? And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to come in here after you get your plan approved, and we're going to put number 3, permits, because you should be pulling permits. Not everybody does. And as a homeowner, you have the right to do the work to your own job if you're going to do everything yourself. In a lot of areas, you don't have to pull permits. It just depends on where you live, what you actually have to do. But I'm saying permits is stage number 3. And then number 4, what we're going to do once the plan's been approved and we've got everything detailed out in our program, we know where the walls are, we got our dimensions, we got an approved plan, we're going to start to do our layout. And what a layout is when you just take your tape measure down there, you lay out your wall lines on the floor. Basically, you'll be snapping lines wherever your walls are, and then you're going to be covering those lines with your framing. You're going to be standing your walls on the lines. So what we're really doing here is we're laying out wall lines. Okay, we're laying out the wall lines. Once we have it all laid out on the floor and we're ready to go, what we're going to do next is we're going to begin our framing. All right, we're actually doing something now. We're framing. When I begin the framing, I finish the framing. I do it 100% complete. I don't start framing half of it and then begin wiring it and plumbing it and insulating it and drywalling it. I finish every ounce, every speck of my framing first, and then I begin my mechanical work, which is my next stage. So after the framing is 100% done, we start with mechanical. Now mechanical, we're going to break into 3 different areas. We're going to break it into electric. We're going to break it into plumbing, if you got a bathroom or a bar, and HVAC, which is your heat and your air conditioning. All right, and basically it's moving air. All right, you got to move the air down in the basement. I tell everyone you have to tap into your air conditioning feeds and returns because you want fresh air coming in and you want the other air going back out through the filter system. So you need ventilation down there. You need true moving, cross-ventilated air coming in and going out. Feeds and returns. All right, and I talk more about that in the Pro Video series. We have an entire section of the course dedicated just to HVAC. Show you exactly how to do that. It's not that hard to do, and it is something that a homeowner can do themselves, and you can save a heck of a lot of money by doing it yourself. All right, so once all the electric, plumbing, and HVAC is in the framing, all right, that's why we have to frame it all first, because all this stuff is in the framing. We're drilling holes in the framing for the electric. We're drilling holes in the framing for plumbing. We're attaching HVAC unit stuff to the walls in the framing. So the framing has to be done. That's why we finish the framing 100% before we move on to the mechanical. Once the mechanical's all roughed in 100%, we will go ahead and insulate. All right, we've got to insulate the basement to code. And you know, BOCA codes, international BOCA codes, stipulate certain R values for basements that you have to adhere to. So if you're pulling permits, you're going to want to make sure that you've got the proper R value for your section of the world. All right? It changes from Texas. I don't think there are many basements in Texas, but it changes from warmer climates to colder climates. So if you're watching this and you live in Canada, you're going to have a different R value. They're going to expect different things from your project. You may have to use thicker drywall, you may have to use more insulation. It just depends. Whatever the code says, that's what we put in. All right, and whether we're framing with 2x4s or 2x6s or R13 insulation or R19, it doesn't matter. You're still going to do it the same way. It's just going to be bigger material, thicker material. Okay, so once we're done insulating, we've basically got everything packed in the walls now. All right, so we can start covering them up. And the next phase then is the drywall. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get all of our drywall hung, finished, and sanded, paint ready. And during the drywall phase, nothing else is going on. The drywall is a messy, dusty job that, you know, you're not doing anything but drywall during the drywall phase. Once the drywall is 100% done, it normally takes anywhere from 3 days to a week, depending upon humidity and air temperature. All right, what kind of ventilation you got in the basement, what time of the year it is. The dry time is going to be different with the joint compound. So anywhere from 3 days to 1 week to finish the drywall. All right, generally is the longest phase of the job, next to the framing. The framing for someone that's new, you're looking probably at 1 to 2 weeks. All right, depending upon how much time you have. If you're a weekend warrior and just doing it in the evening, it's probably going to take you a week, week and a half, 2 weeks. All right, be realistic about it. My guys are coming in and we're doing it full time, and there's 5 of us. We're going to frame it in a day and a half. Okay, it's good, but you're generally going to be working by yourself or with your significant other or with some friends, and it's going to take a little bit longer. All right, once the drywall is 100% done, what I like to do next is I like to paint the walls and the ceilings. That's it. Not the trim and the doors, just the walls and the ceilings. And the reason I like to do that is because I like to spray, and I don't want any doors and trim in the way because I don't want to get any overspray on that stuff. Even if I'm not spraying, even if I'm just hand cutting in with a brush and rolling it out, I still like to paint my ceilings white and whatever color my walls are. I always do white ceilings. It makes the ceilings look higher and it makes the room look brighter because in the basement, we don't have much daylight, so we like to keep it as high and as bright looking as we can. So we're gonna paint our walls and our ceilings next. Once that's done, what I'll do then is I'll bring in all my trim and doors and I'll paint them. All right, I'm not gonna hang them. I'm going to bring them in to the freshly painted walls and ceiling area, and I'm going to hand brush them out, and I'm going to roll all my doors and my trim. 2 coats, and then let it dry. I'm not going to put any of it on until I've got 2 coats on it. That way I don't have to go back and cut every single piece of base trim and window and door casing and crown molding and chair rail back in once it's put on the wall. All right, I always get 2 coats on it. Then all I got to do later is go back and just touch it up. Once I nail it to the wall, fill the nail holes and just touch it up. It goes much smoother. Once that's painted, the next step is I will trim the basement. Trim out the basement. And that's everything. All right, that's doors, that's windows, that's banisters. That at the bottom of the stairs, our banister, our railing going down the stairs, bookcases. If you got bookcases, if you're doing build-ins, and I do have a video on build-ins, I can show you how to do that as well. That's considered trim, so I'm doing them right now as well. So anything that's trim, we're putting in 100%. Now all this stuff has been painted, and we put 2 coats of paint on all this stuff, and now we've installed it all. So the next phase is, after we get it all hung and trimmed out, we'll go back and we'll touch up the trim. Okay? We'll go back in. We'll fill all the nail holes. We'll go back with a paintbrush. We'll touch up all of our nail holes. We'll touch up the walls because we're going to make marks on the wall. Even though they're, you know, we think, well, why would we dirty them all up? You know, we just freshly painted the walls and the ceilings. Well, we're not going to get the ceilings dirty. And we might get a couple fingerprints on them when we put the lights in, but the walls are going to get a little nicked up, a little scuffed up when we do all the trim. So we'll go back and we'll roll out any finger marks or bumps that we might have done to the wall paint when we did the trim. All right, so we're going to go back in, we're going to touch up the trim, and we're going to touch up the walls. All right, once that's done, we're getting real close here. All right, it's only step 13, but we're getting close. At this point, everything done, all the trim, all the doors in. We're going to start going back through now, and we're going to start with our hardware. Hardware and accessories. Hardware and accessories. Now, the hardware and accessories are things like the doorknobs, door stops. We've got closet shelving. We might have shelves in the build-ins, like the entertainment walls, bookcases, if we have any wall niches, whatever, any adjustable shelving and all that, we'll put all that in as well. I'll consider all that accessories, all right? Now, what we didn't talk about here is if we have a bathroom, we're going to go back in now and we're going to do our tile, all right? If we have a bathroom or a bar, I like to go back in now after all the trim. Now, the base trim in the bathroom and the bar would not be put in yet if we had a bar. All right, I like to put the base trim down on top of the tile, but all the rest of the trim is done. If we've got a bathroom or a bar, we're going to put the tile in, and we're going to grout it. We're going to set it. We're going to grout it, and then we're going to go back in. And these, in stage 14 and 15 really are only if you have a bathroom and a bar. We're going to go back now. We're going to set fixtures, toilets, pedestals, sinks. Shower doors, all that good stuff, towel bars, paper holders, all that stuff in bathrooms. We're gonna set them all in, and we're gonna finalize the bathroom and the bar area. We're gonna set all the cabinetry as well. If we've got a vanity in the bathroom, we're setting the vanity on top of the tile. If we've got cabinetry behind the bar, we're setting it on top of the tile now. If we've got a 2-stage bar in the front, we're setting it on top of the tile now, okay? And then 16, really, once you get down here and all this stuff's been done, the only thing that's really left on your project is a punch list, all right? And a punch list is normally given to me by the homeowner. I ask for these. I'm asking for trouble sometimes, but I ask for them. I'll tell the homeowner, look, I'm done with the job. I want to make sure it's to your satisfaction. So what I'm asking you for is tomorrow morning when I get here, could you and your husband please go downstairs tonight, look around the basement real good with a blank piece of paper and a pen, and write down anything that you're not happy with. Any paint that needs touched up, any caulking that we may have missed, any dings or bumps, any doors that aren't shutting correctly, any toilets that aren't flushing, or drains that are dripping, or anything at all that I need to finish in order to get paid and get out of that customer's life so that they can move into their new space and start enjoying it. The punch list, all right? It's really important. This is where you fine-tune the last little nitty-gritty of the job. Right? It's really important that you do this. So give yourself a punch list, all right? And then go back and knock out your punch list. Once your punch list is appeased, you're done. All right, the final, I guess there is one stage, but see, my company doesn't do it, so I didn't think to mention it, but carpeting. The carpeting, to me, is like rolling out the red carpet, all right? There's nothing else that's to be done in that basement. I mean, there isn't even a doorknob that needs to be put on. All right? It's all done when the carpet goes in. All right? Because I don't want guys tracking muddy shoes in, cutting anything inside, running the risk of getting anything on the brand new carpet. When the carpet's in, the job is done. So the very, very last thing, if you even have carpet, all right, you may not even have carpet. Your basement may be 100% tile or 100% pergo flooring or 100% vinyl, which I wouldn't recommend because it's cheesy and it's disposable. But if you've got carpet, the last thing you'll do, and we'll put it in there, is carpet. You'll call the carpet guys to come out and put the carpeting in, all right? And that's it, all right? It may seem like a lot of stuff, and it is, but it really isn't that hard to do, and it goes a lot quicker if you follow this chronological order, so that you're not putting the horse before the cart here, all right? Or is it the cart before the horse? I guess it's the cart before the horse. You're not putting the cart before the horse here. It only slows you down. And I've tested this since 1992. And I've done over 500 basements, and I've learned which way to do this to get in and get out of my client's house as fast as possible, turn a profit for my company, and give the customer a quality job. Quality job. That's the most important thing to me, is a quality job for my client, because we're a referral-based business, and bad news travels a lot faster than good news, all right? So we're always quality conscious. And this chronological order here works great for quality control, all right? So in the next video that I'm going to send you, I think it may be coming tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to take all these materials here, and I order all my materials from Home Depot, and I order certain amounts of materials of each sector at each phase of the job. And you don't need any more job materials on your project than what you actually are currently using. So you'll be tripping over this stuff. You'll be moving it 10 different times. So I'm going to show you how I take from the framing down to the insulation in one order, exactly what I order and how much it costs. That's order number one. And then I'm going to take the drywall and the painting as a second order, what I order and how much it costs. And then from the trim all the way down to the hardware, this will be the next phase here, that's another order. And I only have to receive 3 or 4 orders during a job, so I'm not running back and forth to Home Depot 10,000 times for materials that I forgot to order. All right, I'm going to give you everything that you need to order to get the job done, so that you have an ironclad list in front of you that you can order from. And it's going to be based on a basement that's between, let's say, 600 and 1,000 square feet, which is an average for me. The material list really doesn't change all that much from 600 to 1,000 square feet, believe it or not. All right? So I'm going to give you a list, and I'm going to give you prices, and I'm going to show you when to order what, so I can simplify all that for you. I've got a science to everything I do, all right? There's a method to my madness for every single thing I do. I've systemized basement remodeling. I fine-tuned it, and I want to show you exactly how to do this. So in the next video, we're going to go over materials, costs, and when to order. Thanks for watching.